Okay, today's date, as you can see by me showing you this video picture on my cell phone, that it's November 5th, 2013 at 10:15 a.m. And I basically had a, the reason why I'm showing you this video is because I set up these black weatherization sheets at my hiking area. Now they cannot be seen from the hill because of the extreme amount of brush and tree branches and everything that extend, and concerning where they're physically located at in reference to the point of view from their location to down here. You also cannot see them from there because it's set back from their line of sight over there, also covered by bushes. The reason why I did this, but before I explain the reason why I did this, let me show you something. On 5/7. Alright, now the talking you barely hear, which you'll probably hear again while this video is recording, is the individuals they set up to harass me from a distance about 100 feet away. But let me show you this. Do you see this? Do you see that clean cut? I have had to replace this rope that originally extended when it was put there by me onto my tent. Okay? This rope extended all the way to this tree branch. So I could tie the rope around this, okay, in order to keep the frame of the tent on this side more stable. Okay? That's right. They came down here and cut it every single time that I've tied one to the tent, as you can see, so it could so the actual rope itself that you're seeing right now could extend right here to this little tree. So I could prop it up, tie it up to the tree in order to make the tent pole stand in a more upright position. They came down and cut it every single time I put it on. Look at that clean cut. That's not a cut from somebody just walking into it when they supposedly maybe came down in here. Well, it's unraveling right now, but it's a clean cut. Okay, you see it? Now this is not the type of cut that would come from it snapping as a result of somebody walking into it. And even if it was, where's the remaining part of it at? They've taken it each time. It's a calling card. Now if you went to Google and typed in how they'll enter targets' apartments and leave calling cards, moving furniture around, stealing things, replacing them later, you'll see that's a gang stalking method. This is their way to let me know they've been at my hiking area. That's right. Now you might think to yourself, why are these black weatherization sheets put up here? About 2.5 months ago, the perpetrators that are managing this harassment that I experienced along all my routes in the same exact identical way, they have been using individuals that get up on the sidewalk and will say gang stalker as they go by. Then periodically when they've done that, they will say, why don't you come and steal our stuff? Then on 2 separate occasions, they got 2 separate UCSD students to walk by me at UCSD Price Center when I was in there in late June and early July and say, gang stalker, why don't you go and steal our stuff? Now that's done to put a targeted individual in a paranoid mindset that something's going to happen to their property that they purchased and paid for, that I have, that's hidden at this area. Now it's their way to make a targeted individual afraid and keep them afraid that the property will be stolen. Once these threats started occurring at this hiking area by the bicycles that they put on the sidewalks to say, gang stalker, why don't you come and steal our stuff? See, them saying gang stalker is their way to get my attention by me hearing it as a result of them saying it. Then, right after they say it, they'll say, why don't you come and steal our stuff? They're saying gang stalker to get my attention so I'll hear the threat. And they're using the individuals over there for the same exact thing, saying the same thing. That's right, except it's hard to pick them up on tape recorder because they're like at least 100 feet away. So what I did in response to these anchor threats was I developed locations that would hide the property that I have bought and accumulated with my own money, including sleeping bags, clothes, camping gear, and shit like that. Excuse my language. I developed ways to hide the property completely and totally out of sight. That's right. So as a result of all this happening and the things that were happening and transpiring in between, in reference to how they were escalating other methods towards me along all my routes, including using them assholes over there to say, gang stalker, why don't you call the cops on her? And gang stalker, why don't you get her out of here? And gang stalker, why don't you come and steal her stuff? So basically what they were doing was escalating the campaign, making me feel fearful that I'm going to be evicted from this hiking area and all this other crap when they're supposed to be illegally hiking here too. So why would they even be saying stuff like that? It's done to anchor fear that the cops are going to come and evict me from this place. And it's also to anchor fear that my property be stolen. So, as a result of them escalating the campaign against me, I had a feeling that they were going to eventually try something, because I was still exposing them online while they're not getting no payoff. Okay? And basically what I mean by that is that through these threats, they seen that it wasn't motivating me to move, because they count on breaking a targeted individual down by causing them to run from place to place to place to place after the homelessness is created. When they seen I wasn't moving, I knew that they were going to start escalating their campaign, which is what they did. Now, so what they did was they had the idiots over there clear out a ledge, because they're hiking right now. They got a canopy set up over there. Okay, and right now there's at least 2 or 3 of them over there right now. They started harassing me again this morning. They've been very quiet for the last 4 days, and now this morning they're back. Okay, now what they did was, right after these threats started being anchored, right after these threats started being anchored, and I started developing my own strategies to hide my property out of sight, and then they seen that wasn't motivating me to move, they started escalating their campaign, which is what I predicted they'd do. So what they did was, they're on the other side of this ravine. I'm on a level ground right now. Okay, and then there's a little like a thing that drops off, and then it's got level again, and then there's a little itty bitty waterway that runs all the way on this whole entire property up until it gets to the intersection, okay, of where a street corner is. Okay, they're on the other side of where the water's at, about 100 feet away. What they did was, in response to them seeing me not moving because of these anchored threats, they were trying to motivate me to move by making me feel afraid that my property would be stolen. I guess they believed that if I moved, my property wouldn't be stolen, even though I was gang stalked from this hiking area, from another one that I was at 40 miles away. Okay? Just hear me out. So what they did was they set up a bunch of idiots within 2 weeks of me moving here to camp out about 200 feet away. And originally that would have been not even 30 feet away from where I was originally hiking at. And I moved from over there to over here once I started noticing that that area gets flooded when it rains. So I thought, well, I'm not gonna get caught up in a flood, so I moved over here. So they originally intended on moving very close to me to begin with, because I was already over there camping. So what they did when they seen that these threats wasn't motivating me to move, they went from where their canopy is set up, across from, on the other side of where this water's at. What they did was, there's a ledge, okay, that they started clearing out with rakes, and then moving all the way to directly on the other side of where this black weatherization sheet's set up at. That is directly perpendicular to a place where I was hiding property at every morning. Basically what they were doing was setting themselves up to be there so they could see me hiding the property every morning, and they believed that would additionally motivate me to move, because then now they could see where it was being hidden at. So I put these up, okay, in response to it. So then they stopped using that as a hiking area, but are now using the ledge for closer harassment at night by yelling "gang stalker." Okay, now I have over 700 separate audio files. 700 separate audio files of individuals getting along all around me along all of my routes, repeating "gang stalker, gang stalker, gang stalker, gang stalker, oh my god, gang stalker," in that way, along all my routes. And the San Diego police will not do one thing about it. Not one thing. They won't file a police report or anything. So you got to ask yourself, why? 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 The harassment that I literally just mentioned to you about people getting around me saying "gang stalker, oh my god, gang stalker, gang stalking, oh my god," was literally caught inside of the San Diego Police Department headquarters on July 24, 2013, and in the San Diego City Council chamber room where the San Diego City Council convenes for their chamber meetings on August 24, 2013. Now, I was already all over the internet saying that these words are being said around me everywhere I go, with multiple videos, hundreds of videos online before the San Diego Police Department headquarters harassment was caught and the City Council meeting harassment was caught. In fact, a newspaper reporter uploaded my blog to one of her blogs, concerning the videos that was caught inside of the San Diego City Council meeting. That's right. Now think about this. Listen to this as well, and then I'm going to close this up. At the last hiking area I was at, which was over 40 to 50 miles away, in 2012, I was making videos stating that individuals were walking by the sidewalk because that hiking area was only about 15 feet from a road. That's right. But it was off a hill. People were walking on the sidewalk like when you walked up the hill to leave that hiking area, there was a sidewalk. People were walking by the sidewalk and saying gang stalker. That's done to remind me that I'm a victim of this crime by repeating the name of it everywhere I go. So I was making videos at that hiking area, 40 miles away, maybe even 50 miles away, back in 2012. I then moved from that area and come all the way to La Jolla, and have caught at least on over 600 separate audio files of it being said around me in that way everywhere I go. It's done to remind me that I'm a victim of this crime by getting around me and literally, deliberately, and intentionally repeating the name of it constantly and non-stop. And they're using the homeless bums that are 200 feet away. They're saying it and then laughing out loud. Okay, and that's done to, I guess, trying to put me in some kind of victimized mindset. But when you really think about this, I mean, how stupid and desperate can you be to literally have a bunch of bums set up 200 feet away and yell a word? That's some stupid shit. Now, in closing, all you got to do is go to the internet and type in the movie Gaslight with Ingrid Bergman. And when you want, it was a movie that was made either in the 40s or the 50s, and that was about a woman being in a home. She married this guy who deliberately and intentionally put himself in her life so he could marry her, so he could get her property and some jewelry that she wasn't totally aware of was hidden in the house. Just bear with me. So what he did was he deliberately intentionally put himself in her life to meet her, to date her, to marry her, so he could psychologically drive her crazy. And he was doing this by acting like he was leaving the house for the day. After they got married and moved in the house, he'd act like he was leaving for the day, and then he'd leave, walk out the door, and then re-enter the house from a separate entrance and go up into the attic and repeat words and phrases and say things for her to hear in the rooms that she was in. That's right. And she couldn't figure out how she was hearing it because he was supposed to be gone. He was re-entering the house through a separate entrance and going up into the attic and saying these words. He was also playing with the lights in her house. Sorry. If you went to Google right now and typed in gaslighting and gang stalking, you'll see that that is a term being used by the targeted individuals, because there's like forums and stuff like that, and advocacy groups, and people exposing gang stalking all over the internet, because this is happening to millions of Americans right now in real time. That's right. In every state in the United States. And all you gotta do is go to Google and type in gaslighting and gang stalking, and you'll see that that's an actual coined phrase that's used to describe gang stalking methods. That's right. So when you look at the movie Gaslight with Ingrid Bergman, you'll see what he was doing to her in their own home, getting from a distance and saying things. That's exactly what they're doing here. It's exactly what they did at my other hiking area. So, and if I got the 700 audio files to prove it, it shows that I'm a factual victim of this crime, so why won't the San Diego police take a police report? Alright, I gotta go. This is showing you my tent right now. I already showed you a video picture of my cell phone. When I leave here for the day to go about my business, I close up the tent, I put a lock on the tent, which I've already made numerous videos of me showing you that the tent locks up and everything. These black weatherization sheets are pulled in front of the tent so you cannot see nothing. The only thing you see once the black weatherization sheets are pulled in front of the tent is this, black. Okay? Now, as a result of these anchored threats, we're going to see on any date, including today's date, if I come home and any of my property is missing that's hidden close by. Think about it. Why would they move all the way from their area to a ledge that they made by raking it? And then once they got to a point that was directly on the other side of where my finger's pointing at. And that's where, on this side, in reference to their point of view from where they set up, we're going to set up over there, was directly, in other words, it was right in eye shot of where I was hiding property at. So why would they go through all that instead of like maybe going over here to set up another hiking area, or coming over here, which they might even end up trying doing, because they know when I come home I got to get the property out from where it's hidden at in order to use it, like my sleeping bag and stuff. Just bear with me. So, think about this. If I was hiding my property in an area that you could definitely see as a result of them black weatherization sheets not being there, they had to know. Because why would they pick that spot otherwise? So they already know where my property's hidden at. That's right. Now, so if I come home on any date and I discover any properties missing, damaged, or stolen, they believe that that will provoke me to go to them and say, why are you stealing my property? They'll say, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? Because this is literally how they treat targets. They act like they don't know what's going on at all, while the target knows the truth because the target's literally heard them yelling gang stalking. They basically, what they do is anchor and associate themselves deliberately by yelling gang stalking, so you'll know that they've been brought on board. Then when they pull something, you'll believe by then that that's the last straw that broke the camel's back, and you'll go over and confront them, and then that's when they act like they don't know what you're talking about at all, and that if you don't leave, they're going to call the cops, or they'll even possibly call the cops themselves, or stage an individual to be in the area as this event is unfolding. So they can call the cops and say, this woman's yelling at them, she ain't making no sense, they're calling her crazy, maybe she is, you better come out here and find out what's going on. Then the police arrive on the scene, the target tells the police they stole my property and they're involved in gang stalking. The police act like they don't know what gang stalking is because they're lying whores, okay? And then they make a falsified police report about the target's mental stability, gaslighting, the term in the movie Gaslight with Ingrid Bergman. He was deliberately intentionally trying to drive her crazy so he could have her committed, so he could get her house and the jewelry that was hidden in it. This is one of the reasons why gang stalking targets are picked for racketeering purposes and insurance fraud. And all you got to do is go to Google and type in organized stalking or gang stalking and police officers. It's a syndicate. They make women homeless and then bring about these campaigns against the target to make it appear that, to produce an incident, to make it appear that the police have a normal appearing reason to appear on the scene. They bait the target to open up because the target's already been provoked as a result of them realizing their property's been stolen. So basically what they're doing is provoking the target by using their own target's emotions as a result of the victimization that's covertly done when the target leaves the area. Target comes home, discovers the stuff's gone. Target goes and confronts the individuals who have deliberately and intentionally associated themselves to this campaign from a distance. When the target goes over there and approaches them, they deny it. Third party calls the police. The police come out and say, what's going on? Target's so pissed off because their property got stolen, they open up and say, I'm being gang stalked. The police officer says, well, I don't know what that is. What is that? Explain that. The target starts explaining it, and then the police officer said, that sounds too crazy to believe. They're implying you're crazy. The witness is implying you're crazy. So you either get up and move from here, or you're going to be arrested for trespassing, while they then covertly make an incident report about it, which discredits the target's mental stability, because it's the accumulated documentation over time that they use to take the syndicated probate control so they can call out the target's monthly checks, exploit their insurance, and exploit the target sexually in a syndicated run organized crime group home. It's why the homelessness is created to begin with. And these are the schemes they bring about against the target to bait the target to open up so they can file the falsified documentation to get the syndicated probate control, just like in the movie Gaslight. Gaslighting is a word that that is all over the internet that describes gang stalking tactics. Do you see what I'm saying? And in that movie, it was about getting syndicated control, putting her in a mental institution so he could get probate control of the house and the jewelry. Do you see what I'm saying? And I've already mentioned all of this. You would not believe the things I witnessed them do to other targets in another state, because gang stalking is happening in every state in the United States. They're basically schemes that are brought about through covert maneuvers and methods designed to provoke a target to act out so they can call the target crazy. And that's why the homelessness is created to begin with, by getting landlords and property owners on board. Stealing rent, mail theft and mail delayment, post employees, landlords, property owners. Google it, and you'll see I'm telling you the truth. My name is Leslie Williams. They're not doing nothing but paying off these homeless bums they're using with community services that community citizens donate to, like food banks. Okay. And so my name is Leslie Williams, and I'm exposing these truths concerning what's, and I'm gang stalked along all my routes at UCSD, the Law Library, any San Diego Public Library, businesses. Yeah. Now when gang stalking is happening at businesses against a fellow employee, it's called work mobbing. Google it. All right, I gotta go. This is showing you that it's here today. And we're going to see if I come home today and if any property is stolen, missing, or damaged, including property that's hidden. We're going to see if there's a trespass notice on this tent by the property owner. Think about it. If they're using property owners and landlords to get on board in these campaigns to evict the target, to make them homeless, do you honestly think that they don't know where I'm hiking at? How do you think they're getting up on the sidewalk and saying gang stalker when they go by? Why don't you come and steal their stuff? How do you think that they knew where to set up these idiots at? Because they know I'm here. Listen to everything that I state in this video slowly. Do your research. In fact, go to YouTube right now and type in "Learning Disabled Woman exposes flat-out evidence of being gang stalked." And you'll see individuals being around me saying gang stalking around me everywhere I go. And you'll see I'm telling you the truth. Alright, I gotta go. I got a long day ahead of me today. I gotta go to Walmart. And it's already almost 11 o'clock, so I gotta go. So we're gonna see if this type of event transpires concerning me on any date at this location or any other hiking area I go to. This is the 4th hiking area I've been gang stalked to. The 4th. Go to YouTube and type in "gang stalking bullying on steroids." You'll see that targeted individual states he's harassed everywhere he goes, including at his own home. And there's my tent, my home. I'm not involved in any illegal or criminal activity whatsoever. I'm not a threat to myself or others, and I'm not mentally ill. I'm describing to you the methods, schemes, and maneuvers of gang stalking, so you'll know them for the truth of the matter, in reference to how they work, how they operate, how the police play a role in it, and why. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day. Oh, and so we're going to see when I come home on any date if these are taken down, you know, by them when I leave, because you got to remember how I showed you? They cut the rope on this. That's their calling card. It's their way to let you know that they've been here. Where's the other part of this rope that came all the way to this tree? Where's it at? And they cut it over 5 different times. I replaced it 5 times in a month and a half. And when I put it up, tie it to the tent, tie it to the tree, I come home and it's cut, and the remaining part of the rope that they cut is gone. That's right. It's their calling card. It's their way to let you know that they've been in your area. That's right, to provoke you. That's right. And then they just use these idiots that they're using to literally repeat the word gang. You know what they do? They say gang stalker, oh my god, and then laugh. You wouldn't believe what they did on the night of the 22nd. And where have they been for the last 4 days? All of a sudden now they're back this morning, but they've been gone for 4 days. What happened to them? Did they get paid off somehow and went somewhere and used up how they got paid off at? Like possibly illegal behavior? That's right. What kind of people go to this lengths to put up and use homeless people who are probably being paid off with food bank services, like, you know, like Salvation Army food from them, okay? What kind of people go to all these extremes to mentally and psychologically harass and batter a target? Okay? Idiots. Do these, human trafficking is another motivation of this crime. Do these individuals honestly believe that I'm going to let these homeless, freaked out bums put me in a victim mindset just because they say gang stalker out loud and then laugh? Are they that stupid? Alright, I appreciate you listening. My name is Leslie Williams, and all you got to do is think to yourself, why won't the San Diego police make a police report? Why? Thank you.